The 49ers were hungry for the Week 13 rematch with the Eagles since they lost at Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game back in January. Deebo Samuel and company were chirping basically as soon as that contest ended about how they would have won if not for literally running out of quarterbacks. With Brock Purdy back in the lineup and playing his best ball yet, they came into Sunday uber confident, and boy did they deliver. After coming out cold with a couple of 3-and-outs to start the day, the offense scored touchdowns on all 6 of their possessions from that point on until running out the clock, with all but the final one covering at least 75 yards. They were perfectly balanced, with 12 first downs on the ground and through the air each. They averaged 8 yards per play, converting 8 of 12 in 3rd and 4th downs combined, and the guy in the center in Purdy had a nearly perfect passer rating. Obviously the defense played great, holding Philly to the second fewest points in the season as part of what turned into a 42-19 beatdown, but I want to focus on how Kyle Shanahan used 10 days of preparation to expose what had already been turning into a leaky Eagles defense through masterful play design and then impeccable execution by the players. Let's dive in. So as I already mentioned, they did go 3-and-out on the first 2 possessions, but here we start with something the Niners just spammed throughout the day to create easy looks, and that is using 4 strong concepts, meaning 4 eligible pass catchers to one side, and while it's something they've done plenty in the past, the Eagles seemed ill-prepared for it, in part because of how San Francisco got to those looks. This takes a while, so as we let this roll, you barely even see Christian McCaffrey starting a bunch to the left before flanking next to the quarterback. Then we've got a through motion from Juwan Jennings, who wheels this up with a dagger concept inside and a swing by C-Mac, all to create confusion by the defense and manufacture this 3-axis speed out on the backside by Brandon Ayuk, as this forces Philly to rotate strong into cover 3 here, meaning this backside corner number 2 Darius Slay plays way off, and because newly inserted veteran nickel Bradley Roby isn't sure if he needs to trail the motion, and in general, almost all of the passing options now being away from him, he's late and way inside as a flat defender, if he even had any chance of crowding this, resulting in an easy 12 yards on a well-run speed out. Now the Eagles are thinking, we have this covered if we just stick to our landmarks, yet this time as the Niners already present a pretty clear 4-strong look, with McCaffrey slightly moved that way and Purdy on the center. It's Deebo Samuel as the X-receiver on the backside, but just slightly inside the numbers. And they run a mesh concept with those 3 interior receivers, along with a high-low stretch towards the field between George Kittle on the corner route and McCaffrey out in the flats. Check out all that voided space this creates over the middle here as we let this run. You'll see the Will Backer here, he's gonna turn with number 3 working across the field. The corner and this flat defender stay home. The Mike Nicholas Morrow gain stepped as he has that spot route coming in behind him with Ayuk, as the offense is trying to create this triangle here, while drawing away the deep 3rd and flat defender the other way as they're directly occupied. And now Deebo catches the under route just 3 yards past the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 1, turns upfield to split the defense, and rips off another 12 or 13 yards. Let's now check out what they did in the run game, and how to use numbers to their advantage in this facet. The initial formation is a 3-by-1, with a tight bunch to the offense's right side. But now this happens. Kyle Juszczyk moves into his more traditional fullback spot in the I. George Kittle moves from wing right to the left. And then the last piece, Juszczyk already shuffling over that way a little bit. As they run toss to what all of a sudden now is the strong side, with the Eagles not adjusting at all. Up front it's basically just outside zone blocking, only that the linemen climb up a little bit quicker, and the receiver to that side cracks back on the safety down the box. Number 32, Reed Blankenship, actually runs over the rookie receiver Ronnie Bell, number 10 here, which as C-Mac bands this up, limits this to just 11 yards, instead of potential a lot more. But what they essentially did here was create a +2 to the play side, and they make it look easy. Back to the pass game here, very next snap. Now I actually not even dropped the offensive design here, because this is all about messing with the only linebacker on the field, Nicholas Morrow here, as the Eagles are in a penny front, meaning 5 down, 1 backer behind it. On paper, they're running cover 6 here, meaning quarters to the field, and cover 2 into the boundary. And I know this looks like a fairly simplistic zone coverage, but this is all about match principles. And for Morrow in this case, he's supposed to match the ultimate number 3 to the passing strength of the formation. Now let's try to follow what's going on here. We start with Debo being number 3 in this bunch to the left. He motions across, so now it's McCaffrey in the backfield. Oh wait, now Kittle is put in motion. Oh good, he stays in protection, so let me just get my eyes back on the quarterback and see where I can help. Oh no, crap, he releases out into the flats, and now check out all this space that he has here. Murray is still the closest defender, but he's like 20 yards away at this point. The DBs up the field have their heads turned as they're trying to match the receivers to that side, just running off coverage. Kittle ends up burning this angle by the linebacker and rumbling ahead for 32 yards to set up 1st and goal here. Let's end this drive with a touchdown. Tight bunch to the right again, but now with Kittle in line the other way. Debo as the original outside receiver comes on a jet motion, but then orbits back around. And they fake a sweep play with him towards the passing strength of the formation. However, Brock Purdy actually boots the other way, and now has 2 levels to this. John Jennings sifting across the formation, leaking out into the flats, plus Ayuk on the over-outs coming in behind that. Brock does a nice job of being patient here. As number 32 Reed Blankenship is in the window, he squares his shoulders, Ayuk clears it, and makes an awesome diving grab for 6. Put that fucking drive in the Louvre. Next possession basically starts from the same spot, and we once again begin with a 4-strong concept, although this time they dress it up differently. We start in split backfield, tight end to the right, and both outside receivers in reduced splits. McCaffrey flanked towards the boundary now, motions next to Debo on the opposite side. Tight end is on the line still, so Debo can still be in motion as well, being offset here. He runs a little orbit return motion, and what ends up happening, we have spot routes by the 2 outside receivers, Kittle runs a corner out, and you've basically a screen element incorporated here, with Juszczyk lead blocking for Debo on the swing. The Eagles think they have this accounted for, as they peel Hassan Reddick off the edge here, and run a basic cover 2. However, as Reddick has somebody working across his alignment, and the safety has to stay deep for Kittle on the corner route, now you basically have James Bradbury in the flats in a 1-on-2 against Debo and the fullback with the swing screen, and it's about the inside pursuit having to ride Debo out of bounds, but not before he turns this into 2nd and 1 again. That's another play where you make it easy on your quarterback and the other 10 guys while creating problems for the defense. We've already seen this quite a bit, 21 personnel, but now it's the fullback Kyle Juszczyk flanked to the left of the quarterback. You have the tight end George Kittle that way as well, and then a stack between Debo and Christian McCaffrey. So already 4 eligibles to one side, but they go back to this reverse orbit motion to at least threaten the ability to have 2 options to that side. Check out what this does to number 53 Christian Ellis. He shuffles along, then steps down the other way with the sweep fake to Debo, and now gets spun around as Kittle breaks flat across the field behind him. In cover 3, he should theoretically be responsible for this hook to flat area here, but the post safety stays way deep, and because the backer already starts out of position at the snap, check out all the space now for number 85. The pass from Purdy is actually slightly behind his tight end, but that allows him to use the momentum of the ball to carry him up the field, and then he takes the safety already waiting for him that way against his will for a chunk play again. Back to the endzone angle for this run play. Again we start in 3-by-1 with a tight bunch to the offense's right side, but 2 seconds later it'll be 3-by-1 the other way, with Kittle moving across, Juice in a speed motion from a wing alignment the other way, into a kick-up block on the edge defender, and you hammer them with duo to that strong side, as you create double teams between the tight end and left tackle on the free technique, as well as the center and the left guard on the nose, and because you create those favorable angles to turn those bodies on the interior, you guys can peel off to that 2nd level. Number 41 here actually does a solid job of working off the block, but McCaffrey with a head of steam powers through the defender, and it's 2nd and 1 already again. And C-Mac will punch it in a few plays later on an outside zone play, after motioning from the tight bunch into a condensed 2-by-2 set, which bumps the linebackers over, but they fail to communicate properly with the D-line to shift the other way, and none of the run fits, and McCaffrey easily scores here. Second half now, it's 3rd and 5, Eagles hoping they can finally create a stop here, as they decide to play man coverage, specifically cover 1 hole, so you've got 1 linebacker dropping out, And really this isn't particularly hard, but the execution here from San Francisco is excellent. As they motion McCaffrey out the other way, clear indicator for man coverage along with the inside leverage by his backside corner. Running a corner route by Ayuk and then an option route with the back underneath it. And then on the trip side, you're basically running off coverage with a fade by Debo on the outside. And then this element out of a stack where you've got Kittle on a deep out. And then John Jennings showing a cross release initially before breaking back to the inside. What this does is force number 39 Eli Ricks to work over the top initially here so he can take care of his assignment, but then he's already laid back to the inside. So the receiver is kind of a step ahead already just by the design here. The backer as a hole defender opens the other way. Purdy looks over there for a second, then flips back to the right and hits Jennings over the middle for an 18-yard gain. We get back to third down, 3 yards to go. Shanahan knows they're playing man coverage again, and now he'll punish one of the backers for an explosive play. McCaffrey's put on this Space Invaders-like motion they love so much. And he'll run a double move here, basically a stutter go, as he releases between the two receivers to that side in his 2x2 set. And now you see number 41 simply doesn't expect him to go vertical here, as it looks like another option route. McCaffrey decelerates, almost comes to a jump stop, and then blows by the linebacker for 33 yards. This is bullying Nicholas Moreau at some point here. Very next play, 2x2 with Kittle settling into a wing alignment to the left, and Debo next to him in a reduced alignment. Ayuk comes in jet motion that way, but they end up running an end around towards the field as they sneak the tight end underneath the formation and get him out as a lead blocker. Number 15 John Jennings shoots inside, but the fake is so good that he actually doesn't have anybody to take until late, and Purdy flips it to Debo with all this action going on in the backfield. You see number 7 Hassan Reddick pursue too aggressively down the line, and he's not caught out of position, with Kittle leading the way, getting a piece of the final 2 defenders, as Debo races to the pylon untouched. Please watch it again from the end zone angle, and let me stop right here. You have 3 defenders now trying to get to the ball in pursuit, but Kittle snatches up Darius Slay and then gets enough of a piece of the safety Kevin Byard here to escort number 19 to the end zone. Next drive, I formation, tight end to the right initially, but they bring him to the opposite side, and you actually see the 2 linebackers signal to the D-line to shift over, so you can get the free technique towards the tight end in order to simplify run fits. But number 93 Milton Williams doesn't realize it and stays in his 2-eye alignment on the inside shoulder of the guard. By the way, despite this being 1st and 10 and the Niners being 21 personnel, so 2 backs, 1 tight end, Philly is in nickel defensively with 5 DBs on the field, probably after having seen the linebackers getting burned routinely. So after that little motion from Juszczyk again, now the nickel in theory would be responsible for the C gap between the left tackle and tight end, but because the fullback actually scoops up the edge defender number 94, and you're not going to really find any other fullbacks in the league capable of doing this consistently, you've got left tackle Trent Williams pinning this linebacker inside, who has to scrape over the top, and now with Kittle getting out to the corner, another DB would have to make the tackle here. Tremendous work by the blocking here all around. McCaffrey continues to press the outside before getting vertical, putting both hands on the ball, slicing through the crease, steps out of the diving tackling attempt, and then lowers his pads on the safety for 16 yards. And again, the very next snap, they scored a touchdown from 48 yards away. Just a little quick out motion from Juszczyk to pull the flat defender with him into a levels concept to the field, along with this bench combo we've seen a few times already, with Kittle on the corner routes and McCaffrey working out into the flats, which pulls down number 53 as the backing cover 3 defensively. And as I let this run now, check out all the space that number 41 has to cover here. They have this high-low stretch on the backer, so he has to gain depth here initially, and actually does a solid job of redirecting back forward, but just a step slow, as Purdy hits Debo underneath. He has the strength of a running back to pull away here from the tackling attempt, and then turns on the afterburners. Maybe a little bit of a hook by number 10 here, but he's gone, and the Niners go up 28-13 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Awesome run from McCaffrey here. Niners start in a tight bunch to the right. They motion Jennings across into this condensed 2x2 look. Then the quick up motion from Debo, and they actually just run a simple inside zone to the weak side here. But check out the Eagles calling up this run blitz with TE twists on each side and the backers looping around in order to create a negative play. In theory, they have every gap covered, and as Ayuk works up to number 53 off a little bluff here on the edge defender, you at least have another force player who should funnel everything back inside. Yet what you get here is tremendous navigation of tight space by McCaffrey, and a defense that is absolutely sick of constantly being a step late. So the back presses the front side hard here to force those two defenders to maintain the outside position. And now number 94 is in that A-gap that McCaffrey wants to squeeze through. But you just see this little shoulder fake while staying tight to the guard. Number 55, who was just the backside defensive end, and 31, the deep safety, try to run this down. But McCaffrey puts on the brakes, explosive jump cut, put a little wiggle on the other safety, pulls himself out of the tackle, and is only being dragged down after a gain of 15 yards. That is outstanding work from everybody all around, but a truly special ball carrier, elevating what is there on the table for him. Let's show Juwan Jennings some love here. They motion kill across into a 2x2 set, and number 15 is in the slot to the left side here on this 3rd and 9. The Eagles are bringing that exact same 6-man pressure I just showed in the previous run play, and they'll be playing match coverage with number 32 Reed Blankenship dropping down as a robber to help over the middle of the field. Purdy knows where he's about to go the entire way, as Jennings is about to run a curl route here from the slot, but please check out the details of this and how he schools the rookie Ricks. So he pushes vertically, but slightly stems this outside, indicating he may want to break back across the defender's face towards the middle, steps into the space of his man, and then comes back down towards the quarterback. Number 39 is just waiting back there at the break point basically because of how well this is run. Great protection, Purdy stands in strong, ball arrives a little high, but Jennings plucks it off the top shelf. For what should be a big conversion, it gets ruled just short, but did pick it up. And then 5 plays later, Jennings comes through on 3rd down again, now with 5 yards needed just inside the red zone. Jennings back in the slot of the strip side. Little change of pace on the outcut, beats the rookie again, who desperately is trying to catch up because he knows they're a man and he has nobody to help. Overruns it, Jennings swipes him by and scores from 18 yards out. And here's the dagger, nothing really fancy about this. 3x1 with the tight end towards the left side. Eagles expecting San Fran to just run out the clock, so to get back into this 5-down front with 2 linebackers behind it against 12 personnel, as the Niners put Charlie Warner, the number 2 tight end, into the slot to the left, which essentially gives them a 2-on-2 out here as they run a tunnel screen with Debo, and check out the big boys getting out in space, creating a convoy here. Debo slices behind them, and then turns on the Jets again to score from 46 yards away and get us to a final score of 42-19. Kyle Shanahan put on an absolute masterclass in terms of how pre- and post-snap movement can mess with the eyes and rules of defenses. The heads of the Philly linebackers were spinning all day long, and whenever the dangerous collection of skill position players touched the ball, it felt like they had a lot of space to work with, which all of those guys have the ability to take it to the house in any given moment, as we saw. You pair that with a defense, which outside of having untypical issues of securing tackles short of the sticks on 3rd downs, one of the Eagles' specialties right away, held a dominant rushing offense to just 2.6 yards per carry, was able to make Jalen Hurts hesitant with the picture on the back end, and didn't allow that guy to hurt them with his legs. I already had them as the number 1 team in my power rankings last week, and with the current state of the rest of the NFL, I think they just gained some separation. If this group can stay largely healthy, they'll be rolling towards Super Bowl 58 with their boomboxes blasting. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for future breakdowns like this, and maybe share with a friend or two, whether they root for the Niners, or maybe if you're feeling salty to a Philly fan. I did originally plan on posting something in written form this week, but I really just wanted to showcase what San Francisco did in this matchup. Plus, since I want to do my annual power rankings heading into the final month of the season next week anyway, and already looking ahead to the holidays, where I'll be in the States without my microphone and stuff, this works out much better. However, I will be back next week with those rankings I just mentioned over on my page hellosoffootballtalk.com, where you can find all of my other content as well. That is linked down below in the description, along with my social media handles, where I'll throw up betting picks, general thoughts on what's going on around football, and keep you up to date with my work. Please consider checking all of that out. So until then, see you later. Peace!